Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we have Sweet Baby Inc. in the news again. And I feel like every month something comes up about Sweet Baby Inc. and puts them back into the headlines. This company just can't seem to be able to get away from the headlines. Well, apparently, allegedly, Sweet Baby Inc. is leaked to a secret indie game funding network, which apparently was reported by Master of the TDS over at Gothic Therapy. So shout out to those people over at their channel, and we're going to link their channel in the description box below. But apparently, they have ties to not only an indie game funding network, but reportedly have hinted ties to between Landfall Games, Wings Interactive, and SBI together as a whole. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I've always said this when I did my initial research and looking into the consultancy firms that are majority in Canada, by the way. And gee, I wonder why. We all know why most of the consultancy firms are in Canada, especially around Montreal, because there is a massive amount of government funding that they can receive for simply having 50% diversity in their company. And all you need to reach 50% diversity is to have two people employed at the company, and one of which is not white, right? This is the most hilarious thing, that a company can be started by two people and get hundreds of thousands of dollars in government grants just because they are considered diverse by their stupid standards. So let's get into this article, guys, from that part, please. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So again, Sweet Baby Inc. is allegedly being linked to a secret indie game funding network. I find this to be very interesting, considering that almost every single SBI game has been a flop, right? Almost every single one. Every single SBI game that wasn't tied to a franchise that was more successful in the past before they got their hands on it has been a flop. Even Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man has sold, well, this was numbers before the PC version. I don't know about now after the PC version. Now it's probably half. But Spider-Man 2 sold 1/3 of what Spider-Man 1 did before it released on PC. So now that it's out on PC, it's probably now at 1/2 of what the original did. Same thing for God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok didn't sell nowhere near the same amount of copies as the original God of War from 2018 that came out. So you got to think about this, right? And wonder, if SBI is doing all these failures, right, being hired by all of these companies, mainly indie companies, and being hired by them to write whatever or narrate whatever the hell did they do, it makes you wonder, why do you keep employing this studio that seems to not bring any actual goodness to any product whatsoever? Because they'll either lower your sales from terrible writing, or they'll flat out make your game flop because of terrible writing. It's one of the two. But let's see what Gothic Therapy and has to say. So, a recent report by Gothic Therapy, a YouTube channel hosted by Master of the TDS and Writing Raven, suggests that indie gaming may be influenced by a network of companies working behind the scenes. According to their investigation, Landfall Games, known for titles like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator and Content Warning, is allegedly connected to Wings Interactive, a funding group that claims to support indie developers from marginalized backgrounds. The report also links Sweet Baby Inc., a controversial consulting firm, to this network. I feel like at this point, Sweet Baby Inc. survives just on grants alone. I don't think they survive by the amount of money that they get from actually doing any work. I feel like the amount of work that they do is just icing on top of the cake that is made by the amount of grants that they get from either governmental entities or private corporations. They're getting money like crazy to sustain themselves. They're getting money to subsidize themselves. And before people scream, well, that sounds like a conspiracy theory. Well, guess what? All these companies that are getting exposed for being subsidized because they were trash and they were being subsidized by the US aid money, it's the same thing here. It's just Canadian now. So before you think it's a conspiracy theory, I hope you understand that you're 3 months out from finding out the truth. So then it says that Gothic Therapy alleges that Wings Interactive is not an independent funding group, but rather a front for Landfall Games. While Wings presents itself as an initiative supporting underrepresented developers, Master of the TDS and Writing Raven claim that it's actually controlled and funded by Landfall. They cite official records showing that Wings operates under the legal name Vingar Interactiva AB in Sweden and is registered at the same address as Landfall Games. That's not just a coincidence, that's a cover-up, Master of the TDS states in the video. They further claim that multiple companies, all linked to Landfall Games, are registered at this address, suggesting a broader business structure hidden from public view. So basically, it's a hidden network, right? It's a hidden network of subsidiaries that all go go to basically the same place once you really start going down the rabbit hole and looking and trying to understand, okay, who's what, what's what, where address they're going to, etc. If they're all going to the same address, I think it's pretty obvious that you just found yourself a nice little hidden network here. According to their findings, Wings Interactive shares board members with Landfall Games, including Peter Henriksen, a co-founder of Landfall, who is also listed as Wings Vice CEO. Look at this. Look at this. Eliano Oikawa. Look at this. This is insane, bro. It is insane. Interestingly, the video notes that Henriksen does not publicly list his role at Wings on LinkedIn. Another figure identified is Kristen Lee, who serves on Wings Selection Committee and also has ties to Landfall Games. You know what this is, guys? So 2020 happened, right? And after 2020, obviously, with George Floyd and all that nonsense, DEI exploded, right? The amount of money that was available from DEI or within DEI was spread out everywhere. And there are actual real grifters that saw the opportunity to make and take this money, more so take than make, but to take this money. And in order to take this money, they had to have XYZ, diversity. And it was very easy to do it because the requirements were damn near minimal. Anybody could start up a company. And as long as you had two people and one was diverse and one wasn't, then boom, you got your grant. And as long as you can provide what you're going to do for the next 6 months to a year and have a business plan, you got your money and you're good to go, right? So it is so insane how all of these companies and all of these subsidiaries have been formed simply off of the backs of 2020. And now, especially now that Trump is in office and he's doing what he's doing with the USAID money, I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody has their eyes on what's happening over in Canada and other consultancy firms, even if they're not in Canada. Everybody has their eyes on them and seeing where is their funding coming from? Where are they getting money? Because there's no way in hell they're getting this much money from the projects that they do. There's just no way. They're getting money from somewhere else. They are being subsidized. So based on their investigation, Gothic Therapy claims that Wings Interactive functions as a shadow publisher, allowing Landfall to fund and control indie game development without publicly attaching its name to the projects. The host suggests that large companies have historically used similar tactics, creating supposedly independent brands to avoid scrutiny while exerting influence behind the scenes. One of the most intriguing elements of the report is the alleged connection between Wings Interactive and Sweet Baby Inc., a consulting firm known for advising major gaming companies on narrative development. Gothic Therapy highlights that Kim Belair, the CEO and co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., previously served on Wings Interactive Selection Board. Oh, wow. Now things get very interesting. You can literally see this post from 2020, which that's what I said. I literally said in 2020, this is when this stuff really exploded, and shocking. Back in November 17th of 2020, you got a post here from Wings Fund Me, the Twitter account, and it says, meet the Wings Selection Committee Kim Belair. Kim, a.k.a. Bagel of Death, is the co-founder of CEO Sweet Baby Inc., and a black and queer-owned indie plus AAA narrative development company that also works to support hashtag game dev teams across disciplines, sweetbabyinc.com. So there's no hiding it. This woman was, in fact, on the board back in November 17th of 2020 for Wings. And when you tie all this together, you got yourself a little bit of a rabbit hole. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.